I can't talk and do stuff at the same time. And we are live.
We are
Both
live.
places.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Trent Keith with Keith Realty,
Yep, I'm Ethan McNeil.
and we are back again. It is Tuesday.
Yes, we are here to answer your questions about real estate and also just to talk.
That's right. We got highlighted listings. We have
Yes.
quotes. We have questions. We have news stories.
Yes,
All
Yep.
kinds of good stuff today.
that's right.
So, you want to share anything before I kick off our news stories?
No, I think you're the only one with the news story today.
Okay. Number one ranked tennis player in the world was eliminated from his tournament this weekend. If you didn't watch, you need to check it out. He was just walking off the court and hit his extra tennis ball over to the side, and it hit the line judge right in the throat, and she couldn't breathe. He got disqualified, and he lost over $267,000 in fines and all that kind of stuff for the little happening. So it was a little bit of a mistake. I bet he'll be more particular with what he does with his extra tennis balls from now on.
Yeah. Wow. That would really stink.
Terrible. It really is. Yeah. All the football teams in the NFL are cutting down their rosters now.
Oh, really?
Trying to get it down to their 53-man teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't make it in time to try out. Well, maybe
they see if you throw the football at any of the referees and hit them, maybe you get disqualified and kicked off.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, I don't know.
You'd probably be fined like this tennis player.
Man, that would really stink getting kicked off just because you accidentally hit a line judge.
Yeah, that was like at the beginning of the tournament too. He was number one. That would be upsetting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have any news stories for the day?
No, I don't. All I have is a bunch of questions on my mind.
There you go. Let's get started on our questions then.
All right, you want to do the first one?
Sure. Right. Should I get a survey of a property before buying it? That's a good question. It depends on where it's at and what type of property. Most of the time, people do not get the survey anymore. You can have a pretty good idea of where the lines are by online. You can go on and pull up the perimeter. If you talk to the neighbors, they can kind of give you an idea of what they think. And as long as you're comfortable with what information you can gather, you do not have to get a survey. If you're not comfortable with those details you get from the people that live around you and online, then yes, the only way to fix that is to get a survey, but it is not part of the requirements to buy a property. So most people waive the surveys, but you can do it if it's a concern to you. What do you think?
Yeah, if you have any questions, and you definitely would want to get a survey if you have questions, and especially too, I think the more land you've got that you're buying, probably the more it would matter. If it's just a little lot in town, then or even in a subdivision, then you probably already got the plot lines recorded, and I wouldn't worry about a survey in that case. But yeah, and if you have markers already in place, I mean, you can that really does help. If there's stakes or stuff you can find, then that could help you not have to get a survey. So, yep. Next question. Oh, and also, if you are live with us, you can ask us any question by commenting on Instagram or Facebook, and we will answer your question live. So just in case you didn't know that. Okay, next question. Should I get a home inspection of a property before buying it? Normally that is better than getting a home inspection after you buy it. Yes, we almost always recommend that you get a home inspection because it could save you a lot of headache after you buy the house. You could get trapped in something that has a lot of issues, and you could have known that ahead of time if you've gotten a home inspection. So we always recommend it's a few $100s, and in the long run, it can save you thousands. So even if there's a home that looks like, this one looks new and nice, there could be hidden things. There could be issues with the electrical, plumbing, the mechanical items in the house. There's all kinds of things that need to be checked out by a home inspector. So I almost always recommend that somebody gets a home inspection done.
Yes, definitely. Okay, would you ever buy a home based on a virtual walkthrough without seeing it in person? Okay, that's a very tough question. That all depends on one, how much money you have. Two, if you can travel to see it before you have to put in an offer. Um, Three, what kind of realtor you're dealing with on the other end of the transaction. There's a lot of things that play into that. I have sold properties like that by virtual walkthroughs. And as long as it's very clear and precise of what's going on, what kind of condition it's in, and then you see the walkthroughs, then I wouldn't be scared to do it, but it's always different watching on a virtual walkthrough than it is actually being there. A lot of times the one running the camera or the phone or whatever it is, video, and may not be looking at all the things you would look at if you were walking through the house. So it does make it a challenge. It doesn't scare me per se, but if I'm on an extremely tight budget and I can only barely afford something, then I would not buy it with a virtual walkthrough.
Yeah.
If it's a second home or a third home or a vacation home, and I'm not worried about minor details, then it'd be fine. Because you can learn a lot if you're working with a good realtor on the other end.
Yeah.
If you do not know who you're working with, I wouldn't do it that way either. So there's definitely some variables. I would say if there's any way you can get to see it in person, that would be the number one choice. But you always can buy virtually if you need to. So what do you think about that?
I'm kind of in agreement. I think it would depend on how well you know the real estate agent that's walking through property with you. And also if you have family members or friends that you trust in the area that could go and walk through it for you. And also, yeah, if it's your only home, that would also make me a little hesitant. If this is for going to be a rental or a vacation home or something, I would be more inclined to buy it virtually that way because you're not stuck as much if it's your only home.
Yeah.
So let's see. Next question is, what are the chances of me finding a livable home for $50,000 cash? Um, Not real great. What do you classify as livable? um, you might be able to find a deal out there. As of right now, and especially in Owen County, I don't think there's any properties that are livable under or around 50,000. But you can always have a property pop up. So just keep your eye out, but I would say your chances aren't real great. You're probably going to be better off, especially if you're needing a livable home, to use that $50,000 as a down payment or a big chunk of a payment towards a house that is livable. Yeah. Have you seen any nice homes for 50,000 lately?
If you can find a livable home for $50,000, buy it with a video walkthrough.
Yeah.
Don't drive there. No.
Yeah.
Very few and far between. The chances of finding one is slim to none, and Slim probably disappeared in the
Yeah.
process. But that is very hard to come by. So short answer would be no. The long answer would be if you feel lucky, keep your eye out.
Yep. I can almost guarantee you at $50,000, there's going to need to be repairs done to that home. So,
Yep, for sure. Okay, should I go with a 20-year or 30-year home loan? Okay, now you're going to get into questions where we can start flipping coins here. But my personal opinion, always go with a 20-year. Now, what's your budget look like? Can you do a 20-year? If your budget does not work with a 20-year loan, then you have to do a 30-year loan. And then your goal is to pay extra on your 30-year loan every month. Now, I say you start with a 20-year loan and you pay extra on your 20-year loan every month. But it all depends on your budget. If you have not done this sort of thing, there you go again. We are more than happy to help people understand what a budget is. Ethan and I talk to people all the time about budgeting. That is a major thing when you're wanting to buy a house. So if you want to discuss that with us, we'll be glad to. And all we do is just tell you what we would do personally. We're not professional investors,
Mhm.
but we do know how to budget. And if you can do a 20-year loan and budget in paying a little bit extra, do that all day long.
Yep.
Don't stretch it out for the 30 years if you don't have to.
Mhm. I am going to hop on there with just a
I
little bit
figured.
of a different opinion there. So for I would say almost everybody, you probably as short of a loan as you can get, the better because it makes you pay it off sooner. But if you are really good with your money and disciplined with it, you could get a 30-year loan and, like Trent said, pay extra, double the payments if you can. Try and knock that out in 15 years. The only reason that I like going longer, like 30 years, if you're disciplined with your money, is because if you ever do come into a tight time or financially hard times, you have a lower payment that you've got to make each month in without getting behind on your mortgage. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is right. I agree with that. The problem is I see more undisciplined people
Yeah.
with their money than disciplined. So
Yes.
yes, I second that motion.
Yep.
Ethan's right. If you can do that, do it. If not, make yourself pay the
Yes.
higher payments.
For sure. All right, next question. How long does it usually take to tour a home for sale? I usually tell my people they've got 5 minutes. No. No, it all depends on your personality. There are some people that can walk through a home in 15 minutes. They've got a feel of whether they like it or not, and they're good to go. And then there's people that take an hour to walk through a home or more, and they're a little bit more detailed, a little bit more cautious, and need to look at everything in the house. So it just depends on your personality. We usually try to keep showings at 1 hour or less. I would say the average is like 30 to 45 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. What do you? At least
Yep.
that's the average on my clients.
Yeah. That's for sure. Matter of fact, you will get into situations where if it's a really hot property and they have multiple agents wanting to show it, they may only allow you 30 minutes to show it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times you really need to try to get through it in 30 minutes. If there's some details you need to go back through and check out, that's fine. You can go back through it a second time. A lot of times I recommend to my clients we walk through once, and before we leave, if they're real interested, I say, do you want to
Mm-hmm.
walk through one more time?
Yep.
Because you'll see things the second time that you didn't need to see the first
Mm-hmm.
time. But there's really no reason to take over an hour on a showing unless it is a large piece of property, you're out walking
Mm-hmm.
acreage, that kind of thing.
Yep.
But a house itself should be 30 to 45 minutes. That's how long it should take for sure. Okay, next question. Can I buy a home with no money down? This question comes back around quite often. It is possible, but we do not recommend it. What that means is even if you get a loan that is a no money down, you mean
Yeah,
with a loan?
I'll edit that.
Even if you get a loan that is no money down, it still requires some things in the process. The big thing to us would be inspections. If you're trying to find a place that you really like and you want to be there for a while, you want to get inspections, and that loan will not pay for those inspections. You have to pay for that out of your pocket. The other thing that can happen is, depending on the type of loan, you may have to pay an appraisal fee. Not always. A lot of times it's rolled into your loan. There's different things that may pop up during the process. So it can be done, but it's not recommended, because if you do that, more than likely you have no idea if there's any major issues with the home. And you're just hoping everything goes through without a hitch, because if it doesn't, the loan's not going to go through if you do not have any money to assist
Mhm.
along the way.
Yes.
So,
You also become a little bit more, you might not get as good of a deal when you are dependent on the seller doing everything for you. If you have no money, um, it's just, yeah, you're going to be better off if you at least have some money to contribute towards that. All right, last question. How stressful is the process after I find a home I like and want to make an offer? Again, this is like the other question I answered. It's all based on your personality and the deal. Some deals are more stressful than others. But for some people, finding a home is the most stressful part. And then once they found it, actually, those same people who are stressed while looking for a home are normally stressed leading up to closing because they imagine that the home won't last or every little hiccup is going to be an issue. So just take a chill pill and just let yourself kind of relax and let your real estate agent help you really rely on them to get you through the process, and it'll be a whole lot less stressful. So it's all about how you handle things.
my question was going to be, what one thing makes it the least stressful?
What one thing
Yeah, if
makes
there
it
was
the least?
one thing that would make the whole process
Hmm.
less stressful, what would that be?
A good real estate
There
agent.
you go. That's exactly what I was thinking
Yes.
with that question.
Uh,
So you need to have Keith Realty help
that's
you.
right.
It will be the least
Hmm.
stressful
Yep,
closing you've ever had.
that's right.
And if it's not, we can always say we tried.
A lot of times that there's an issue that comes up during that process. Not always, but most of the time we can work it out. So a lot of times a client might freak out when they hear that there's an issue between their offer time or when they made the offer and closing. But just because there's an issue doesn't mean we can't find a solution. So we almost always do.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, that's the end of our questions for today.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I have one more thing.
Okay,
If
what's
your
yours?
real estate agent is stressed out, they will definitely stress you out during the process. So if you already deal with stress, find a different real estate agent who is not also stressed. Not to talk bad about other realtors, but there are some realtors out there that I've heard about now that maybe I've worked with that are stressed. Yeah. No, no. No, if your real estate agent is stressed, they will probably stress you out.
That's one thing about us. You don't have to worry about us being stressed
That's
out.
right. All right, that was my last comment.
Okay, we're ready for a
Oh
highlighted
yes.
listing.
All right, people on Instagram, I'm sorry, you might want to hop onto Facebook if you want to see this picture. But our highlighted listing today is 843 Amanda Lane in Spencer. It's a 4-bed, 3-bath home. It's inside the Spencer limits, but kind of just outside of the downtown area, outside of the main city area, I guess. It's 2,200, just over 2,200 square feet, and it's listed for 299. It does have 2 lots with it, 2 land lots there in the Thornridge addition. And the home has been updated recently. Lots of remodels and updates throughout the home with the flooring, the exterior, the bathrooms, the kitchen. So it's got a lot of great features, and it does have an attached garage as well, 2-car attached garage. Definitely worth checking out if you are looking for a home. It's in great condition and ready for you to move on in.
There you go. Let us know. We'll be glad to show that to you.
Yep.
Now, moving on to our ending quotes for the day. You got to go
Yes.
first this time. I went first
Oh,
last
okay.
week.
All right. My ending quote is by Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor, I call her Eleanor. Eleanor Roosevelt. Me and her are best buds, so I just shorten her name. All right, and the quote is, "No, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent."
Right.
There you go. No. And I'm not going to feel inferior because I couldn't say her name. So there you go.
All right. Mine is from Barbara Barron. Don't wait for your feelings to change to take action. Take the action and your feelings will change. There you go. See, you act like that didn't make sense, but it
No,
does.
it
It
makes
makes perfect sense.
I just don't know if I agree with that all the time.
Well, Barbara would not like to hear
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah. No, I've had some times where I took action and I still felt like, whoa, nope, I shouldn't have taken action.
Well, before then you just wasn't sure. Then
That's
you
right.
knew.
Yeah, that's right. My feelings went from bad to worse.
See,
That
she
was a
said
bad
your feelings would
investment.
change.
Yeah, there you go. I guess it is true. Oh, no.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Yep.
I'm glad you got to hear a little tidbit of our wisdom at the end. Or maybe somebody else's.
Oh,
Is there anything else we need to share before we let him go?
no, I don't think so.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yep.
Have a good week.
See you
I'm
guys.
Trent, and this is
Yeah. Yep. See you next week.
See ya.